I think it's safe to say that for most people, you have your first experience being part of a team on an athletic team as a child. Most people are in a Little League baseball team or a gymnastics team as a child. But my parents quickly realized that athletics would not be my forte when, at my first and only soccer game, I proceeded to lay down in the middle of the field and pick dandelions. So it was very clear from the age of 6 that I would not be super interested in athletics and sports. Instead, I found my solace and my passion in music and performance through theater. I have always been interested in theater. I have participated in over 35 musical theater productions in community and school theaters, and I have learned a lot about teamwork from being involved in those activities. Through being involved with theater, I've learned that there are 3 major aspects to being a part of a team and creating the best environment for a team to work towards its goal. I believe that those 3 aspects are communication, trust, and flexibility. Communication is so important because everyone has a voice, everyone has opinions, and everyone has something to contribute. But without communication, there's no way for every single person to bring their forte and their strengths to the table. And to be able to balance weaknesses with strengths, you have to communicate what those strengths and weaknesses are. And every single person has to be open to hearing the other communication. Because of this, I think communication really brings people together and it allows for the most growth for a team. I think that with communication, anything can happen. And with communication, you have to be able to take positive and sometimes negative communication. This means being able to criticize someone without being mean, or to take criticism without feeling personally attacked. I think criticism is a big part of communication that doesn't want to get discussed because it can make people upset, but it's one of the most important aspects of being on a team, is being able to take and give constructive criticism. Being in theater, a lot of times there will be people who will interpret something in a script a different way than you, and being able to communicate when you have those differences is so important, and I learned that at a very young age. The second aspect that I've brought up is trust. Being able to trust in a team is incredibly hard sometimes, especially if there's people that you don't necessarily personally get along with, but being able to trust that we all have the same goal as part of a team and trust that every single person is going to put their all into a group project or a theater production or a sports event or whatever it is. Trusting that all of your teammates have the same goal in their focus and the same drive to reach that goal is very important. Being able to see that every single person is doing their own work and trust that every single person will be where they're supposed to be, do what they're supposed to do, say what they're supposed to say, and get their own personal work done is key to making sure that a team reaches success. Thirdly is flexibility. I believe flexibility is incredibly important, and it's often not something that is brought up because flexibility, again, can be difficult and can be something that isn't appealing personally. Like, if you're in a situation and you learn in a play, if you learn your lines and you learn your dance, and then at the end of, a week before the show, they say, okay, we're gonna change this. You have to be flexible and able to mold your thinking and mold your practice and mold what you're doing in order for the better of the team. When I was in theater, they would change things all the time. We would learn an entire dance, practice it on stage, and then see the problems with it, and we would have to be able to be flexible and move ourselves and change what we're doing in order to ensure the best success for the show. And the same thing goes for any type of team. There's going to be times where you put everything together and something just doesn't quite fit and you have to fix that thing. And a lot of times that results in people having to change their original course of action. And for this reason, I think flexibility is incredibly important to the success of a team, and being able to not necessarily change your entire dynamic or your entire process, but being able to just tweak those little things and be able to see those things that need tweaking is incredibly important, and being able to be flexible with all types of situations is incredibly important. I think being part of a team is something that's taught me a lot, and there are lots of other aspects of being on a team that are important and are valuable to society and to all situations that you might be put in. But specifically, from what I've personally learned being part of a team, there's a lot to be said for being able to be communicative, trustworthy, and to trust others, and to be flexible in your actions and in your process.